What is up, guys? It's RS Vaughn. This is the Chair Guys podcast. I'm here with my co-host,
Anthony Spiked.
and today we have a very special guest.
Emphasize the special.
It's special.
It's very special.
Yeah.
Very special. We're here with, who are you?
My name is, what do I say? Pavlic, Yeagh. It doesn't matter who I am, you know? That's not what's important.
A man of many names.
Yeah, what's important is what I think and what I say. You know?
Exactly. Some of you may know him as Pavlic, some of you may know him as Yeagh, but to us, he's a kind, kindred soul. That's what he is to us.
Yeah.
You might see him around the what would you call it?
The Twitter-scape.
The Twitter's, I guess, ethos around, he's tweeting. He's out there. He's always there, Very, very well-known man. Very well-known man. So we're glad to have him on today. And, is there anything else you'd like to add about yourself in case we're not doing you justice?
It's a wonderful day out today. There was a couple of really bad days. There was basically a hurricane. There was torrential flooding. It was really lots of rain. We haven't seen that in a while. It's been a really dry summer. So, we like the rain, but we like the sun a little bit more. It's good, I like it a lot.
Yeah, and for those of you who may not know, Pavlic, he lives in New Zealand. His current address is, I will read it out in about 5 seconds. Actually, no. Let's just get into music, am I right? It's been a very interesting kind of week. We were originally going to review the new Charli XCX album, but luckily the gods from above heard our prayers to not review some not good music. And the gods heard us.
Well, we could talk about it anyway, because I think that Charli XCX album, masterpiece. I actually cried while listening to it.
Yeah. I didn't listen to it, but I agree with you, though.
Yeah, and after this is done, I'm going to cry that we didn't talk about it.
Okay.
But we'll move on.
Yeah, so the album that we are going to talk about for our new drop was a complete surprise. No one really saw it coming, other than the fact that it was uploaded into the Discord of the group, and that is Bladee Ecco2k collab album. First Drangang related project to drop in 2022. Crest. Surprise drop. Crest. So actually, Pavlic, can I get your opinion on something?
I mean, you can. Yeah.
Okay. What toothpaste brand do you use?
See, I was gonna mention this because I don't understand what people was like. Oh, it's a Colgate. The joke is something about Colgate, but I don't get it. I don't understand why.
Well, Crest is another brand of toothpaste.
I've never seen it before. We don't have it.
Okay. What do you use?
There's like a local brand. It's something really boring, like Cool toothpaste or something. That's like the brand, and there's like some other shit. It depends.
Okay.
But I'm not a Colgate man, if that's what you're asking, and I'm not a Crest man by virtue of location.
Yeah, because New Zealand, they don't get a lot of special access to a lot of American items, I guess.
No, we don't. But
yeah. But okay, so we're not here to talk about toothpaste. We're here to talk about the album. Well, we could talk about toothpaste.
Let's talk about toothpaste a little bit more. What toothpaste do you use?
I use Colgate.
Do you use Colgate?
Yeah, do you want me to go grab the toothpaste I use?
No, I just wanted to talk about the toothpaste.
Yeah, I use it's like a gray toothpaste because it's like charcoal, it's like charcoal infused and like helps your teeth get whiter.
Wait, is this do you buy your own toothpaste? Is this something that you
No, I buy my own toothpaste.
You do? So this is a conscious choice. You trust Colgate.
Yeah, I would say I trust Colgate.
But you don't trust Crest, which is apparently
Well, I've never used Crest. I've just never used Crest.
But guess what? You can trust Crest now. By Crest, I mean the new album by Drangang Extraordinaires. What's their names again?
Bladee Ecco2k.
That's what you can trust. I trust them. I like this album. It was nice.
You really? Can you expand on that a bit? Like, what about it did you like? Perhaps like.
This album, in regards to okay, in this case, Ecco2k is sort of like LeBron James, okay,
Mhm.
and this album is the equivalent of LeBron James joining the Miami Heat in 2011.
Yeah, I feel you on
E-
that.
Ecco2k is a guy who is a genius and has individual masterpieces, but has never really come out with the full product for me. I'm not a huge fan of his other stuff, but this is a real home run. This is his final. This is his first championship, and he did it because he paired up with two established veterans, i.e., Bladee, also known as Dwayne Wade, and White
Yeah,
Armor, and who is Chris Bosh in this
Chris
analogy.
Bosh. Yeah.
So this Ecco2k needed this team to sort of realize his potential, but he did it, and he got his championship. You know,
You,
he got
you,
his ring.
I'm actually gonna agree with you because I think that like Echo is like really well put on this album. Like they put him in the best
Yeah,
places. He's got the best performances. So I will agree. That's a beautiful analogy.
Actually, I think we're on the same page here because I'm not really like a huge Echo fan. People know this and shit on me all the time for it, but I
yeah,
think he's kind of hit or miss. I think he fucking was the highlight of this album. So
yeah. I feel like Ecco2k is a bit. He's always a sort of very loose and ethereal, but I don't think he's the best at that. But he has like an individual voice or whatever that I think
yeah,
works. And this is a bit more maximalist, I think, and I think that
Yeah.
caters to him better. And it's interesting to watch him and then also Blade is still in his fairy shit, and Ecco2k is way better than him in it. And this
Yeah.
album is like the first album where I listen to it. It's like, man, Blade is getting old as fuck. He must be like nearing 40 at this point. I guarantee you right now
yeah.
that Blade either has gray hairs or receding hairline or both. Like he's getting
Okay.
old. He's
Blade,
aging, man, and you
Blade
can
is
hear it.
27. Yeah, Blade is 27.
Blade
And
is he might as well be 72.
yeah,
Like
I agree. Yeah. Especially with the fact that like his new like how he's been looking like with the whole like beard thing, the scraggly beard, like this is not one
yeah.
of Blade's better looking eras. Like he's looked a lot more
Hmm.
dapper, you know? And it's
Yeah.
odd because this is the kind of album he makes when he looks like a hobo. Like I don't know how to feel about that, you know what I'm saying? But I will agree
Yeah.
with you. Echo does the whole like fairy kind of aesthetic, very like that sound much better than Blade because Blade takes a big backseat on this album, in my
I feel
opinion.
like I feel like he holds it down for me. Like he's like the
Yeah.
rock
Yeah, he's
that
the
holds it
Rock.
down. He's like
This is
the
why I'm
anchor.
saying that
Cause like
he's Dwayne Wade.
Yeah,
He's
I
Dwayne Wade. He is the
I
veteran.
don't
He's already won the championships,
I'm not
yeah.
you
I'm
know,
not
and he's a
a
good just
basketball
anchor.
historian, but but
Yeah.
I
Vaughn doesn't know ball, so
I
this
don't
analogy
know
is hard.
ball,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think I get what you're saying. Like I think like without Blade, it might be a little too much crazy ethereal shit. He just kind of holds it down for me. Like he's like
yeah,
I agree.
reliable.
He works,
Well,
and I feel like
yeah,
maybe I would get annoyed of Ecco2k if he went on too much longer. I feel like in him in bite-sized pieces like this works. Same
yeah,
way that I would get annoyed if all I saw was every single play LeBron driving in for a dunk. You know,
yeah,
that would get boring fast. So it's
yeah.
good to have a shooter. And in this
yeah.
case, Blade's a shooter. I'm going to start with the analogy, but
Oh well,
for
actually,
people who are listening,
yeah.
you you feel me. There you go.
Yeah, actually, Pavlich, I have a question. Have you been following March Madness, or you don't follow March Madness?
I don't really. I probably would if I was more American, but I'm not
Okay.
more American, so I don't
Yeah.
understand what college is. I don't understand why I should be like supporting like fucking North York, Boston Wild Tigers or whatever. You know,
Yeah,
I don't get it.
I get that.
Uh,
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the. I won't talk about basketball. Actually, I'll stop.
I just thought it was funny because it was a very good analogy.
It's
Were you
pretty
saving
funny.
that one? Were you cooking that one up?
Yeah, actually, you know what? No, I wasn't cooking it up at all. It just came to me. And
Okay.
do you know what
Yeah.
else is coming to me? Is you talking about
What?
March Madness? Do you know what else is is madness about March? This
What?
Blade album that just dropped, and we're
It is
really
March.
into it madly.
Yeah, you know what? But I will say though, I still think there's some room to be desired on this project. I
Uh,
I still think it's pretty good. I'm liking it. I could
they
even
should
say a
call you
point.
They should call you instead of Anthony, Negative Nanthony, because that's what you
I
are.
agree. I
Yeah,
agree. He brings down every episode for me. He just makes it
yeah.
unbearable sometimes.
But
Like,
we'll listen to your criticism. Go on.
Okay, I will just say that like I hate that I'm becoming like part of that group that are just like I want depressed Blade back, because it's not that
Mhm.
I don't like the fact that he's like on this kind of aesthetic. I just don't think he does it incredibly well compared to Echo. And I just want to see him back on some like it's crazy how he's been on like 333, he's been doing Exeter, and then he's done like the Fool in between all of this. Like 333, Exeter, Good Luck, Crest, and then the Fool is just somehow in between those two. Like I feel like the Fool is that good aesthetic that he could do where he's like it doesn't sound right with me. I think that I
You
don't
like the
know.
Fool?
I love the Fool. It's my favorite Blade project.
Man, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Nah, it's okay. Well, okay, can I give you my Blade ranking and then
oh
we
my
can
god,
discuss?
bro.
Tentatively, sure. Go on, Anthony.
Okay, so then I'll have to go with Ice Dancer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
It's a classic.
I know you're a big GTBSG fan. That's where you reside. You're in that camp.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, of
then
course. I think. Yeah.
yeah, then I'd give it to Exeter. So it's like I still like kind of the aesthetic that Blade had on like Exeter and stuff. I just think that like he doesn't do much for me on this project. And
Mm-hmm.
I just want a different kind of Blade. I'm fine with Echo, like he does this sound very well. I mean, that's proven with a track like Girls Just Want to Have Fun, which has been out for a while, but like within the context of this album, it makes 100% more sense. Then we have tracks
It
like
makes more
Five Star
sense. It's
Crest.
just a fire ass song, you know.
Yeah,
It's
it's
always
a
just been good.
yeah, it's been a great song.
But like, it was definitely like a turning point where it sort of indicated the direction they were going, and so yeah, I agree that it makes sense in the album. But
Yeah,
yeah.
I gotta say, it clicked with me more hearing within this album because I did like it before, but like
yeah,
I
and it
think it
fits so
makes more
snug. Like it's
sense.
crazy how
Yeah,
snug
well,
it makes
Yeah,
this
that's
track
why
list.
you probably like it more, is because the only gripe that anyone ever had, including me to an extent, with the song is that it's really, really short. So it comes in and then it
yeah,
just goes. I don't mind that really, but like because it's now in an album context, it's sort of more satisfying.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
and each track on this album is like pretty short though. Like the only thing that
Except
really
the
pads out this
8 minutes.
track list is the
Mhm.
Five Star Crest song, which is
Yeah.
very interesting that it's the second song on the album. I would think it'd be like your closer, but that song is just bananas. That song is crazy. I
Yeah, it's very
what?
heartfelt because it's a
Yeah.
tribute to one of their guys that died, a
Hmm.
producer. So,
Yeah.
and you can feel it. Like it's actually like a genuinely genu. I was genuinely genuine. But yeah, song from Blade, and
Yeah,
I like it.
and I love all the movements that it goes through. Like it's actually like surprisingly it works really well. Even though by the
Yeah.
time the second B switch comes across, it's like out of nowhere. I actually
Mhm.
love how that happens on the song, and I think that that's probably the best song on the album for me. Just simply because of just how well it works, and yeah, like you said, how heartfelt it is. Because at the end of the day, all this like the whole album still feels very genuine and heartfelt. Like this is the aesthetic that they like and this is what they want to continue doing, and that's fine with me. I just want to make sure I can get some like the full Blade back or like some of his
Yeah.
other kind of shit. um because I
I
don't
don't really
mind it.
care. Because here's
Yeah.
the thing: is that like I've gotten everything that I could ever want out of like an artist like Blair. Like even the best artist that I'll ever like, I'll only ever listen to maybe one or two albums really, and like genuinely love them as masterpieces. And like Blade has that like several times now. It's like he can go on and be like an old man pretending to be a fairy or whatever. It's like I'm not gonna like it at all, but you can do it. I'm happy with what you got. It's sort of like when Michael Jordan went to the Washington Wizards.
Yeah.
Nobody remembers when he went to the
No.
Wizards, but nobody cares either. I don't care that Blade's going to continue doing this very shit. But as it stands, I like this album. I think it's one
Yeah.
of the better ones in this sort of era.
Yeah, and it's funny though, cause like the discourse around this album, and it's been continuing with this Blade era, is the fact that like, oh yeah, straight people aren't gonna get it, and then like I don't know, it's just so silly. These comparisons are I love Blade
What?
discourse, and this is the funniest discourse about it right now. That like straight people are getting filtered through this new era and aesthetic.
Are people saying this? I've never seen
Yeah,
this.
yeah. Well, I guess you're not on TikTok, but it's pretty funny.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
yeah, like
I
when
haven't seen that much.
actually,
but-
Pavlich, what are your opinions on Amygdala? How do you feel about that song?
I don't remember that song at all. I don't have
Oh,
any
it came out
opinions on it.
very recently.
like,
Yeah, I
couple
remember it
years
coming out
ago.
recently, and I just didn't care.
Yeah.
You know, this
Would you-
was like at a dark time when I wasn't clicking people's Spotify links. You know, but now I
Yeah.
am that person, so I would have heard it nowadays if it came out yesterday.
Also, when
Yeah.
you see a Spotify link on the timeline, you click on it.
I click on it always.
You click on it
Because
That's
you
all.
have to, people, you don't just copy and paste a Spotify
Yeah.
link and tweet it and hope that no one listens.
Yeah,
You
there's an
listen
art to
to
it.
it. You
Yeah.
do it for not only your mutuals, but for your friends.
It's for
Yeah.
the culture. As
It's
well.
for the culture. Yeah, I remember. Didn't you
Mhm.
used to tweet out like Spotify links and you get like 100 likes on them sometimes? Like I feel that's
Like 2
seems
years ago, I
remnant.
remember tweeting
Yeah.
a Yeezus Spotify link and I got like 600 likes.
Oh my
I don't
god.
remember what I said. I think I said it like jokingly, it's the greatest album of all time, which isn't true. It's fucking terrible. Anyway, sorry.
You don't like that? Damn. Okay. Nah, it's okay. We don't need to get into
That's,
Kanye discourse.
That's
No, I
great.
don't want to.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel
Oh,
you.
it's a great album, Vaughn. Yeah, make your opinion heard. Come on.
Vaughn.
No, I was gonna say
Okay.
that's just a great memory. But I also wanted to,
Yeah.
I wanted to touch on a point you made that you know, most artists like it doesn't matter if they go into a new era, bro. Like I feel like most people work the same way, where they're only gonna listen to their favorite songs or their favorite albums anyway.
Yeah.
Like at this point in Blade's career, he's made so much good music and so much music in general. Like he just like it doesn't even
Yeah.
matter. Like there's only a couple artists that I branch out of like the main 2 or 3 albums like often. And like this
Exactly.
is like I love this new direction, but I think at the end of the day, like if you're not happy with it, like just it's not a big deal. Like you have like so much good music already, bro.
Yeah,
If you
'cause,
like,
like-
if you already loved Blades before, like you're gonna be fine because he has a million other songs that you'll probably like. And if you didn't like Blade, then you probably have other artists you like. You know.
And if
I
he
think we're
if
gonna-
you were
yeah.
to try to go back to his previous sound, like it's not gonna be as good, dude. Like you gotta accept it. Like he's in
Always.
a different place.
Exactly. When
It's-
people
it's-
always like,
yeah.
I wish they could go back to the old me or whatever the fuck. It's like
Yeah.
you can't go back to the old you. They'll
It won't
never
be
be
the
able
same.
to.
yeah.
It's like we'll talk. I think we'll talk about Bob Dylan later, right? But like Bob Dylan has like 50 albums, and I've listened to them all. I've listened to every single one. I only listened to like maybe like 7, max 10 of those albums, and that's a lot. But like, there's still like 40 albums that I do not listen to, and you know what? I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I don't need to listen to them. I already have what I
Yeah.
love.
Yeah. And I guess maybe I should just preface that like maybe I don't need old Blade back, but like per se, I just want like I guess just a more trap-esque Blade.
You just like the full direction more than the crest direction.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
that's
I would
just-
probably say
that's
that
what it
because
comes
like
down to.
this is like synth pop, this is like kind of art pop, like
I'll tell you what this reminded me of, and this is the one thing where it's like this is like a newer sound, I guess, in terms of production or whatever. But like, it's not really new if you've listened to any sort of 2000s indie-tronica, like Dan
Yeah.
Deacon or Max Tundra or whatever. It reminded me a lot of that, like really bright, synthy, very melodic or whatever. So it's not a particularly original sound. It's just sort of new for Drain Game.
yeah, no, and
But,
I
like,
don't
I
think anyone's
like it.
saying that. I just think that like yeah, this new direction.
I'm saying it.
Oh, okay. You're coming out and saying it. You're making it known.
Yeah, I'm making it known. I'm saying it.
Okay, I rock with that. I rock with that. Nah, but
Yeah.
no, I definitely agree.
Rock on.
Well, what were we gonna say, Vaughn?
Rock on.
Rock on.
How do I do it?
I think
Yeah,
it's. I think it's.
it's-
Yeah, I think it's just this. Or is this the devil? Wait, no, isn't this the devil?
That's like thank you.
Wait, what's this
In
one then?
sign
What?
language.
What's? Oh, is this the devil?
This is Call Me.
Call
Yeah,
me?
that's
No, but that's
called
if
Or
you do it to the
Surf's Up.
side. But if you do it like this, I feel
Surf's
like that's
Up.
the devil.
No, you're just making shit up.
Okay. Okay, well, I literally live in a place called the Bible Belt. So, like, that kind of superstition is a real thing, okay? Like, I'm pretty sure if I went up to a teacher and did this, they would freak
This
out.
is
So.
not the devil. I'm just letting you know.
Look,
is
it's
not
his
the devil.
horns. Okay,
Why
whatever.
is one horn bigger than the other horn? Did he
Because
have surgery?
I don't have big enough hands, and they're not really bigger, like,
But no,
they're.
it doesn't matter that your hands
That's
are big
how.
enough.
Yeah,
The point is
that's
just
on
that the
every
thumb is
hand.
smaller. The thumb is smaller than the other fingers. So
That's
it's like
biology, dude.
I've never heard anything about. I
No, I
don't.
don't. I don't
Maybe
think this is the. I don't. There's like a devilish. I think rock and roll is the devil.
Yeah, Oh, yeah,
yeah,
you might be right. Rock and roll is the devil.
yeah. Okay.
But okay, going back to not the devil, but in fact the angels that are Blade and Ecco2k, I still think that at the end of the day, I still really enjoy this album, and I'll probably say I love it because I was listening again today a couple more times,
yeah.
and I was like, nah, I really like this production style. It's very interesting and it's cool for the time being. I don't I'm not like this might not be like climb to like one of my favorite Blade projects ever,
No.
but I'm happy with what it is. It's just more Blade music to add on to the pile of like the shit I already love a lot.
It'll definitely be my listening rotation in terms of Blade because I still listen to Blade regularly, unfortunately. But like,
Unfortunately, what? Unfortunately,
I don't know. I was still like, it just feels wrong. Like I should have moved on by now, but like I still
Yeah.
listen to them, you know.
I mean, when did you
But the
start
point is,
listening to Blade?
when like 2 years ago, I guess,
Okay,
2020.
okay.
That all of my favorite like Blade albums to like listen on repeat from like end to finish are like sort of shorter albums, maybe like 30 minutes. This is like perfect, and I like all the songs. You know, I don't get annoyed by it like I do the full. You know,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Well,
what do
die.
you?
But okay, yeah. Like I just like the Fool because it has the melodies I want from Blade. It has the
Mhm.
production I want them on. It has everything I want. It has everything I could ever want in a Blade
Yeah.
album. It's like
No, no.
going into a
Mhm.
candy store and it has all your favorite candies.
Yeah, my only criticism of this album is that I sort of get it after a while. I like all the songs, but I sort of get what they're doing after
Yeah.
like the halfway point, and it isn't like particularly original. Like I can listen to a million great indie tronica albums or whatever, but like I do, I think Echo sounds greater than ever. I think Blades doesn't overstay his welcome. He could have, but he didn't. It's very bright. I like the melodies. I think the long tribute song to Vadenham or whatever is very beautiful. I like
Yeah.
it. You know, this is definitely a good Blade album. Drain Gang, Echo, 2K, White Armor.
Drain
You know what's
gang.
up.
Drain gang.
I
Album.
rock with that. I rock with
I've
that.
Yeah,
I've been loving this album, dude. Like I didn't really
yeah,
get to say it, but I'm just saying like I think this album like grows on me every time I listen to it a little bit. Like I just like
yeah.
it's just a very replayable, fun album. It's definitely one of the
Exactly.
best of the year for me so far. So I mean,
Hmm.
I've been really loving this album. It's definitely not like the most original thing under the sun, but I think as
Yeah,
far as within the Drain Gang discography, it's a very cool like addition. I really
Yeah,
like the sound.
like
yeah,
I would definitely take this kind of project over like a 333 where like Blade I feel like was like prototyping this kind of sound that he was trying to do and it falls flat for me, but then with Crest it really lands home.
I don't know.
And
I like
I don't want to.
333.
Yeah, I like 333 as well. I don't
I
want to
would
like
say
I
get
I
into a
like
long
I
spiel
333
about Drain Game, but
just
the thing
about
is,
as much
yeah.
as this,
I like
probably.
333 because it's sure it's a prototype for his like fairy shit, but like I like how sparse it is, you know.
That's fair.
Um,
I don't really, it kind of bores me after a while.
I could see why it would bore you, but like I like it. It's nice.
Yeah, that's fair. But no, I also love the continuation. Blade's still on his God type shit. He's still continuing with his talking about God and all that stuff. I love that
That's
he's
what,
still
yeah,
talking about
that's
that.
one thing I was gonna touch on. I almost forgot. I love the lyrics on this album.
Yeah, the
They're
lyrics
like,
are great.
Yeah.
there's a lot of like religious stuff that I really fucking like.
Yeah.
It's
Bec-
just like, it's kind of
Mhm.
funny within the context of the sound and stuff and just Blade, but like it's also like, I
It's
still feel
also
it.
it's also
So.
funny because I feel like Drainers as like a whole probably wouldn't even fuck with God, but like Blade's starting to indoctrinate them. Blade's gonna indoctrinate Drainers to start to turn to Christ.
That's a pretty
Trainers
good.
don't really care about God. They're just sort of
Exactly,
like,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
yeah,
I'm
but
a
you said they
spiritual
don't.
drainer,
Yeah,
Okay.
so
I'm a
Also,
spiritual drainer as well.
you're a spiritual
Yeah,
drainer?
I'm a
Blade makes me
spiritual
closer to
drainer.
God. Like
Yeah.
actually,
Well,
Yeah, no.
I feel like Pavlich, you got like your own religion. Like you kind of follow your own, you know what I'm saying?
No,
No. No.
no.
no,
Okay.
no.
That's fair. Nah, but like I don't know. I just kind of love everything Blade kind of brings to this project as well, and like Pavlich said one last time that he takes the backseat, which is nice. Also, one of my favorite moments on the album is the cats meowing. I have no idea why it's there, but it's nice. Just
Yeah.
the silly cartoon cats
I
meowing.
love all the cartoon sound effects
Yeah,
in it.
like it's really goofy. I
There's
like
like
it.
the fucking I don't know how to describe it. It's like the teeth chattering sound effect. Like I don't know where I've heard of it. I've heard it in like SpongeBob and shit. Like there's a bunch of goofy
On
sound
what
effects.
song?
So
On what song?
I don't remember, bro. I think it's
Okay.
like I think
Yeah.
yeses.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know,
Yeah, you might be right.
but
But okay. Yeah, I think actually it's time we move into our favorite tracks. Favorites. Our top three.
top three tracks.
So, Pavlich, do you wanna give me your
Top
top
three
three?
tracks.
Um, I mean, it would probably be for Vadenum.
Okay.
Definitely, girls want to have fun, but I feel like that's almost cheating. Uh, But I also really like White Meadow and Faust.
Yeah,
You're a big fan of Faust, yeah.
good
Big fan
top
of
three.
Faust.
I love Faust.
Yeah, you love Faust, yeah. Okay, Vaughn, give me your top three.
I'm going. Desire is a trap. My favorite track.
Oh wow.
Girls just want to have fun, and probably White Meadow. Yeah.
Okay. I'm actually gonna have to go for Vadenum. Okay.
Okay.
It
Mhm.
feels like a cheat code, but girls just want to have fun.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go.
That's what I said.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. It does kind of feel like a cheat code.
I
Mhm.
disagree.
Okay. We're not gonna talk about it. But then I'm gonna go. The flag is raised. That
Okay.
actually, the intro track is actually a great intro track. One of my favorite Blade intros.
Scrumptious.
So
Mhm.
scrumptious, delicious Blade discussion. It
Well,
was a good
also,
discussion.
one last thing. Shout out the outro track as well, Heaven Sings. It's sort of understated. It's not like a
Yeah.
really big poppy or melodic song. It's very short. But like it's like a proper outro song. It's very cute.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
I
know, I
love that
like that.
song.
I
I
like
agree.
that.
I agree. Yeah, but well, now we're gonna move on to. This is gonna be an interesting discussion. It's our Twitter picked album, ladies and
Is
gentlemen.
it?
We want to give a big thank you to Fee. Actually, shit. I believe their at is behind the shot.
You didn't prepare at all.
No, I'm pretty sure they just changed their name. Let me see. Why is it not popping up for me? Whatever. It's Fee. Fee recommended the album to us, so we want to thank you very much. I have it in the background. I have
So
all.
thanks for all the people who voted and participated.
Yeah, thanks to all the
Yeah.
people because we're doing this new system and we feel like it helps, because it was either we do like two Chief Keef albums, this album, or Darkling demo tapes. So it was good that we gave the people a better voice. I feel like it was a good system, even though you were dissing on it, Pavlich. You said it was a bad system, even though it made absolutely no
I,
sense.
I didn't say that. I said it it wouldn't fly in like a proper democracy to have two Chief Keef parties, right? Because
Well,
like if you have two parties that agree mostly who love Chief Keef and one gets 28% of the vote and the other gets like 22% of the vote, but then another one gets 33% of the vote. The Chief Keef voters occupied the majority, but they were split between two albums. That's all I'm saying. So it
That's
doesn't
a
it
fascinating point.
that's a
right?
fascinating point, but
That's
guess
a
what?
fascinating
If you
point.
pull together the Chief Keef photos, we might be talking about a Chief Keef album, but we
That
shouldn't dwell on the
that's
voting
true.
system too
But I
much.
will just say this isn't a democracy. Between me and Vaughn, it's a benevolent dictatorship.
That
That's how
doesn't
it
make
works.
any sense then. Then just don't do the
Actually,
segment.
yeah, that's kind of true.
This is how we roll on the Chair Guys
I don't give a
podcast.
shit personally.
Mhm.
I don't
Okay,
really give a
but
shit.
let's get into the album. It is Velocity, Design, Comfort by Sweet Trip, ladies and gentlemen. My second
Mhm.
favorite album of all time, still holding true. Used to be my favorite for a very long time.
Mhm.
It's been Vaughn, one of Vaughn's favorites ever.
Yeah, what number favorite album is it of yours, Vaughn?
Yeah, what number
13.
favorite? 13.
What
Number 13.
13th?
And
13.
for
Okay.
and for Pavlic, it's been one of his
It's
least favorite albums ever.
I never said that. Let me rank it. It's probably about 1942nd favorite album of all
Mhm.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and actually, Pavlic hasn't heard the album, he told me, since, what is like 2-ish years ago or something like that, a year or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I re-listened to it. I did my due
So,
diligence.
so yeah, I wanna hear your thoughts on it before me and Vaughn kind of have a positivity explosion over it. I want to hear
Mhm.
your thoughts first, so that we
I,
can
s-
tear
I,
through you.
I think it's just like okay.
Okay.
Kill yourself. Kill
Kill
No,
yourself.
myself.
you're wrong. You're wrong already. We're starting off, and you're wrong. Tell us why it is just okay.
Um. Okay. There's like a variety of reasons why I don't. We were just talking about like indie-tronica from like the 2000s and how
Yep.
sort of the new Blade album sort of takes inspiration from that.
Mhm.
Preacher sort of fits into that mold and it's sort of in that scene, but it's like I feel like in comparison to like Max Tundra or Dan Deacon or Manitoba, like it's just not interesting. It, I get the thing is that with this album I get why it's so popular and why people like it, and the reason is it's because it's very sentimental and it's very cozy, and sort of I get that sort of impulse to like it because of those reasons, but it just doesn't capture my interest. There's a lot of songs where it's just sort of all over the place, and it's just like I'd rather just listen to a good ambient album that can sort of hold my attention over like long drones or whatever. But a lot of these songs are sort of all over the place, and then they'll get to like a great melody, but it doesn't feel deserved to me. Like International is like one of those songs. It just annoys me to no end because it goes all over the place with all these sort of glitch explosions, and I don't care for any of that. It just doesn't grab me at all. And then there'll be this cool melody, but I don't even think the melody is that impressive, really. But I don't want to hate on this album too much. It just doesn't grasp my attention the way that a lot of people act, or in the way that it does for other people. I just feel like there's better. It's just sort of a nice little album, but I never have the impulse to listen to any of these sort of long, drawn out songs that aren't really progressive, and they, um, they aren't progressive, I guess. They're sort of very disconnected, and I don't know. You tell me why you like it,
Oh,
and
actually,
I'll
so,
talk.
but
You sound like a
I'll
yeah,
nerd.
I'll be more of a nerd later on. Yeah.
yeah. Well, can I say, so you just basically don't really enjoy like the glitchy aspect of this album? Like, it doesn't really do much for you?
Glitch doesn't really
That's
do
that's.
much for me.
Okay, well
No.
then that probably
I
makes
think I
sense to
think
why you don't enjoy this
I
album.
think
No,
what he was.
exactly.
I
Yeah.
think what he's saying more is the song structure, right?
Yeah, the
Because
song structure
I
isn't
feel
compelling
like
at all.
I definitely understand that. That's definitely the biggest divisive aspect of this album. Like the songs, like they're all over the place. The fucking climax is like one of the songs, and I love this
Mhm.
moment. It's like one of my favorite moments on the album. They just say "breakdown, baby," and then
Yeah,
it just goes into
breakdown,
the whole
baby.
fucking
Yeah, I
different
fucking
Yeah.
oh,
section.
that's so good.
But
I
it's
hate
like,
that shit.
yeah,
I
I can
fucking hate it.
understand. I can
Because like
understand
it
honestly,
just feels like it
because
comes
it's
out of
not it.
nowhere, and it's
Yeah.
like
There's
you
no
didn't earn this. Anyone
there's no
just like
build up and
build a
there's no like
song.
fucking there's nothing indicating that it's coming really
Right, but
other
like I
than
get
other,
why you like it and why other people like it because it's cool. In the moment,
it
it's
is
cool as fuck.
cool.
But
It's cool as
like
fuck,
I'm a nerd.
bro.
I can't listen to that and think like, where the fuck did this come from? You know,
But I
like
think it's
build
Yeah,
to this moment.
I
You know,
understand, but I just like we have a different reaction to that. It's just
yeah.
yeah,
like it's
exactly.
like
When I listen,
I
like, bro, like, I'm sorry, I cut you off so bad, but for me, it's
you're
like
good.
that. The idea that you point out there, the idea of that, like, it's unwarranted. Why does it have to be warranted though? Because like that shit is
Exactly.
Because
fucking
otherwise, I don't
fantastic.
like
Like
it,
That's
and
fair.
I,
You know,
yeah.
you know what? That's fair. But no, I think I think it's time for me and Vaughn to talk. I think it's time for me and Vaughn to talk.
Can I air out? I want to air out all of my criticisms. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
All right. One thing that does annoy me is that I do not like the female vocalist that much.
Oh wow.
And like
Wow. Yeah.
the her melodic sections, like it's fine for like the first like 30 seconds, but then the more I listen to it, it's just like go back to like honestly just go back to like the glitch shit and let me zone out because it just kind of gets boring. I don't really like the vocalist too much. It's sort of grating to me.
Yeah.
It feels it doesn't really it feels very dispassionate, but like I don't feel like that's always a bad thing, but not only just passionate but just totally disconnected. I don't know.
But
I'm just not a huge fan.
but like the thing is though, like that kind of goes into a lot of the albums. They haven't really said what the concept is to the album, but a lot of the fan theory is that the idea of like it's like a computer trying to like learn the ideas of love, and there's several theories floating around, but the fact that you said that alone, the idea that like she sounds disconnected, gives into that idea so much of like a computer. Because I will say her vocals are a bit odd, like they are a bit off, but that's what I love so much about it. Like she just sounds so weird and unlike most things I've ever heard.
I don't think she's that weird though. I think it's
No,
just
of
kind
course,
of
there's definitely much weirder voices,
it's
but
not weird
she
at
isn't
all to
Yeah.
typical.
me.
No, it's not
She
weird,
isn't
but
typical. She isn't
It's
I
typical.
think that I
it's like
think that
they just pulled like some random theater kid to like do
I
it. Be
think
like
maybe
just
that's what makes it a little weird though. Like,
no.
give me something. Give me something, bro.
But like
Come on,
at
bro.
the end of the I don't want to like shit on her. Like she's fine. But like
Yeah.
uh I get why people like her sections. It's because the melodies themselves are really compelling. I
Yeah.
guess
Yeah.
like in a vacuum they are, but I don't listen to the album like a vacuum. I don't want to just like listen to and skip to those parts, you know.
That's fair. I don't think anyone does that with this album, but that's fair.
No, but I don't
Um
want to listen to the glitch shit either. But anyway,
well that's like yeah, that's you basically you're listening to like the second half of the album then in
but
that
no,
case.
it definitely is. Like I was thinking about it. I like a lot of ambient music, but the one kind of ambient music that I just do not like is sort of glitchy all over the place stuff. So that's definitely like
Yeah,
one reason I just cannot get into this album fully.
I can probably agree with you. When I listen to ambient music, I want to listen to like new age kind of stuff or like
You guys should talk about why you like this album, but I also want to mention I actually really like their debut album. I love,
yeah,
not necessarily love, but I think it's significantly better. And what
Allura,
this
right?
album, yeah,
Allura.
Halika.
No, Halika
Halika.
came second, I thought.
Halika's
Uh,
their is it no? Allura is like an EP.
Oh
yeah,
yeah, okay, yeah, my bad, my bad. Yeah.
Halika, the one with like milk
I
or
will
whatever.
say
Yeah,
I
no.
really like Halika as well. I
I
think
love
it's
yeah.
definitely underappreciated compared to like their follow up to VDC
You will never
and
know
like
what yeah.
yeah.
You will never know
I
why. I don't want to say actually. Actually, I will. That's
I
what
don't know.
I hate that album. But anyway, so.
Yeah. No, that's okay. But
I
Vaughn,
haven't listened to that one in a while, but
oh really?
I
No,
mean,
it's really good. Vaughn,
um,
let's ooze on now. Let's
I don't know. To me, this album, this might sound weird, but it feels like a movie to me. Like it
Mhm.
feels very much like I'm I don't know. It always to like since the first time I listened to it, it feels like a very like calculated progression, but it also feels very like natural as well. Like I don't know, bro. I didn't really think about it too much coming on here, so it's
I
gonna
will
be
say
very
for me
scattered thoughts.
for
But
me the one thing I continue to think about every time I listen to this album is like how it just stands the test of time. Like there's not a single day that goes by where I'm like, okay, this is kind of like this sound. This is starting to age a little bit. If anything, it sounds like it's never going to age because of how just fucking absurd some of the glitches are on the album and how fantastic some of the shit sounds. Like the intro, Tekka, like at first when I first got into Sweet Trip, I was like, okay, Tekka is cool, but like I want just give me the singing, just give me the shoegaze and stuff like that. But as time has gone on, I lose my shit every time I hear Tekka.
mhm.
It's just it is so absurd how something like this could have been made in like 2003. And I
The
get it.
best
There's
song
like
of the album.
it's the best song on the album.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
I probably like I was like this is probably his favorite track.
yeah.
But yeah, Tekka is just absurd. Like the shit that goes on.
Mm.
I'm just blown away straight out the gate. And this is I think VDC will right now as it can stand is like probably my best first listen like ever. I remember just
Mm.
one day I was just sitting on my couch and I just didn't do anything. I just stared at the wall just listening to this album. And it was just so moving. And the way Tekka ends and it bleeds into disco is just fantastic. And
Yeah,
that will forever be like one of the best like pop songs ever to me. Disco is just so fun. It's so
I agree.
cheery. It just
I
gives me
wanted
like
to
birthday vibes.
Mm.
I like I feel like as far as the album being like a movie for me, being like it feels more together and like an actual cycle and like than most other albums for me. Like it feels like a fucking natural progression. Like when it starts, you have disco, which is just this fucking loud like shoegaze pop song, and then it kind of goes into velocity, which is very much like the opposite end of the album sound. Like it's just like goes into this like weird like 5 minute glitchy it's just like shit, it feels very thought out. You have Pro Love Ad and Design One, very feel like middle of the album tracks. Once you get into International, it's a very emotional moment. Like it's very like it's like the fucking rock bottom point of the album
Yeah.
as far as like the vibe and the feeling of it. And then Dedicated, it feels like I'm coming out as like a new person. Like it feels like I've had like an awakening or something. And
Yeah.
then I think the other day I was listening and I had kind of like a revelation. Chocolate Matter
Yeah.
feels like disco, like it's the closest to disco in the sound. And it feels like it's like they're redoing disco with like the new knowledge they've gained like over the course of the album. Like I don't know if that
No,
sounds
and
crazy, but
that's
it's just
that
I have that feeling of like a new awakening moment of like later on in the album. It just feels like I come out of it like way different mood than I
yeah.
was
That's
earlier.
exactly what gives into the whole like fan theory that like it's about like a computer learning to love and it's also about
Yeah,
like a
that
human and
too.
computer
And I feel
relationship.
like they're like cycles like the randomness that it seems very random, like where certain things come in and it's not really building up to anything, it's not really progressive, it's just like here's this idea, and it just comes it seems very random, but the more I listen to the album, I mean obviously the more I listen to the album, more it feels natural because I'm more used to it, but it feels like a very like it feels like it's like a computer going through an algorithm, and it does it like a few times throughout the album to where like it just I don't know. I don't, it's I should have gone into it more doing it because I'm not explaining it
I
very
what you
well, but
mean. Because
it feels like a
one thing
cycle.
that I noticed when listening to this album again is that it does two of my favorite songs that I do actually really like is Disco because it's just a very good pop song, and the other one is Chocolate Matters,
Yeah,
and for different reasons. But Disco is a very layered sort of melodic pop song with heavy vocal effects. Chocolate Matters, when I listen to it, that shit just sounds like a noise rock song. It's like
yeah,
it's like sort of get like the computer not necessarily learning to love, that's a bit too sentimental for me, but like becoming more human in the sense that it sounded at first like disco is a very computerized song, whereas Chocolate Matters sounds like a song that would be made by a band of humans or whatever. And that's also
yeah.
like a strike against the album for me because Chocolate Matters does sound like a noise rock song, and I've heard a lot of noise rock, and it's not that compelling in comparison. But in the album, it sounds pretty good. I like it. It rocks.
Yeah. No, and it's just that like I just think the movement on this album is so perfect. Like the inclusion of the designs on this album are so integral and so important to the album that like it would not be the same without him because I know a lot of people give marks off for those tracks. Even though those are all fantastic. And another just like kind of underrated track that people don't talk about is To All the Dances of the World.
Yes,
That
dude.
track is fucking
I
phenomenal.
was sleeping on that track until my latest listen. It's
Yeah.
probably one of the best on here for me.
Yeah.
Like the last three songs for me are really just fucking like I always underrated them. I feel like, and I've kind of see the light now. Like Design 2-3 feels like it reminds me of Loveless, and how Loveless has the closer track. I forget I think it's Soon.
Soon.
Yeah, yeah.
Soon.
It feels like it's like you're in this dream, you're in this like state, and then it just kind of comes in with like the loud guitars, and they sound cleaner than the rest of the album.
Yeah.
And it feels like the credits rolling, like it feels like the journey's over, and it's a very like reflective, like euphoric, happy fucking feeling song for me. Like it's just
Yeah.
like a perfect ending.
No,
I
and
get
I,
it,
I
yeah.
definitely agree with the idea that like it's like a movie, and it's just that like it's so I just love the way this album moves. I love all the beeps and boops. I'm a very beep and boop heavy person. I fucking like I go over electronic music, and like that's the one thing I also see people really dislike about this album is how glitchy it sounds. They hate the glitchy parts, but then they'll love like a Chocolate Matter, or they'll love like basically most of the
Yeah.
other songs, which like
When you say
I
people, it's me. Well, I
no
don't like all the rest of the other
no
songs, but like
literally
the glitchy parts do bother me, and I do like Chocolate Matters.
no literally one of my friends' reviews on Rate Your Music is I hate how Chocolate Matter is a perfect song, but the rest of the album is annoying with its beeps and
But,
stuff.
but
It's like
I
it's
think
just like
they're just saying that because it's a song that they recognize. That's probably why I like it. It's 'cause I love noise rock, and it sort of reminds me of that. But like because I didn't like the rest of the album so much. Once you get it, it's sort of like a breath of fresh air or whatever. But it's like
Mm-hmm.
if it was compared to other noise rock for me, it'd be kind of okay, you
yeah.
know.
I
But
just
like I like it.
yeah, it just blows my mind. Maybe because I wasn't around in 2003, but once again,
Hmm.
I just it really confuses the fuck out of me how something like this could have been made in 2003. And I get it
Yeah,
back into
I
but
kind of feel the same.
back then people weren't clanging rocks to make music, but they also weren't making something this extravagant and this I just guess timeless, because I mean the next album I think that wouldn't have aged as bad as like flash forward 5 years later we would get Crystal Castles, the first album,
Hmm.
and that's another album that I think about that like it still sounds so fresh.
Yeah.
And it's just I don't know, because in the grand scheme of like electronic music, a lot of stuff gets old quick. You know, like a Mort Garson's Plantasia sounds pretty dated. That's not a mark
Yeah.
to the album, but it sounds dated. You know what I'm saying? But this
Yeah.
doesn't to me at all, and it's so hard to wrap one's head around that. And maybe for you, you might disagree that it doesn't sound very fresh to you, Pavlich, but like it does to me, and I don't know why that
Yeah,
No,
is.
you
I
were
get
you
I
were
get
naming off some like indie artists, and I have not listened to a single one. So like, I'm pretty
I,
sure Anthony hasn't
no,
either. So
I get because like the things that if you listen to the artists that I'm talking about, they don't do the thing that Sweet Trip do, which like
okay,
makes you well. There's a lot of factors that go into Sweet Trip feeling timeless or whatever. Like it
Yeah,
definitely feels like a sort of old Windows computer, sort of like breaking down or whatever. And like there's reasons for that. First of all, like the aesthetic, like the album cover, like it's very that will sway you whether you realize it or not into feeling like it's a timeless capsule or whatever.
totally.
yeah,
Um, but like it's also very uniquely layered and computerized in terms of effects to make you feel that. I don't I don't feel it too much because I just sort of look under the skin a little, but like I get it, you know, I get why people feel like it's an incredibly timeless album, and for the most part, it is, you know.
yeah. No, actually,
I
okay. How
just
about
don't. All I will say is that I can believe that it was made in 2003. I just don't think it's like a huge anomaly or whatever that just came out of
yeah,
nowhere. No one knew where it was, and it just reappeared and like,
yeah.
Yeah, I
wow,
kind
it
of
came
Well,
from
feel.
definitely.
2003. I
Wait,
don't buy
yeah,
that at all. Like I can see where it came from, you know, very
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah. Well, I mean,
Especially when you get to
definitely.
like the noise rock sections and like the sort of
Of
more
course, yeah. And I
towards
mean,
the
with the
end of the album,
whole
it's like, oh, I get it.
yeah, with the whole like Y2K kind of aesthetic as well. So
Yeah,
yeah, I definitely get it, but it's still the fact that like even now in 2022, it sounds like something that could have easily come out in this year. You know, like
yeah.
I at least feel like that is something I can stand by. But how about this? How do you feel about the album cover? Good album cover, bad album cover?
Great album cover.
Great album cover.
I don't think anyone disagrees. It's an
Yeah, come
amazing
on.
album cover.
Yeah, it's
Like
a
that's
crazy
like
cover.
a loaded question, you know.
Yeah.
I think this is like the best example of the album cover making the album better. Like it's just
One
Yeah.
fucking
100%.
captures the sound perfectly. I think if it
100%.
was just like a blank pink fucking album or something, like just like
Yeah.
a solid color or like some bullshit album cover, like it would I would probably wouldn't like it as much.
That's why
Like it really
people
it
would probably
feels
like
like the
Helica
world that
more
you're.
if it was had a more, an equally
Yeah,
iconic
yeah.
album cover.
I do.
You
I
know?
love the Halika cover too, though.
I like it
Yeah,
too.
I
I think
love
it's
yeah.
really cool.
The
But
thing is with this album cover is almost so good, and I think almost universally agreeable that it's good that I actually hate it just because to be a contrarian about it. Because
yeah, I
it is
agree.
annoying to me, just like how like classic of an album cover it is for an album that I
Yeah,
don't fully buy personally.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
a horrible album
Yeah,
cover.
but
Actually,
the
it's
Yeah,
album,
it's
yeah, it's a
terrible.
terrible fucking album cover. But the album
it's
that I do
horrible.
buy is Helica, which is
Halika.
a genuinely really good album because it sort of leans into what I think is Sweet Trip's strengths, and it's sort of more ambient, but
Yeah,
more progressive in its ambience rather than just random glitch or whatever.
I would
It still
definitely
has the
implore.
glitch elements, but it sort of has a more
Yeah.
complete soundscape, and it's more beautiful to me because I feel like every moment is earned rather than just like, oh, that's like a cool melody that appeared randomly at 7 minutes into the song or whatever.
No,
you
I
know?
can agree. Like Halika is my second favorite Sweet Trip project because like
Yeah,
I will agree I like You Will Never Know Why, but I don't return to it nearly as
I
much as like
don't.
Halika.
It's fucking garbage,
Yeah,
bro.
I know you don't like that album, but
It's
like
dick.
yeah, but no, with Halika, actually I don't even want to talk about that album. Fuck that album. It's a terrible
Yeah.
album. It's a terrible fucking album. Um,
Okay.
going back to VDC, I just there's like so much thoughts I can expand on, but like I just it VDC just holds one of the best moments in music for me, with Pro Love Ad and the way it just fucking
Yeah.
goes off and like the last minute of the song. I love
Stand on
that.
it.
But
Stand on it.
yeah,
Come
you
on.
feel okay. I'm gonna expand on it. It's
Hell
like
yeah.
because you say it probably isn't like an earned kind of thing. It doesn't feel earned the way it just
It
fucking goes
doesn't.
into like the like I fucking love that. Like this album is one that I can just close my eyes and fully realize and imagine the aesthetic that they were going for and the fucking
Yeah.
vision that they had. And I guess once again the album cover does lend into that because when I close my eyes and I listen to that section on Pro Love Ad, I imagine that fucking beam of colors coming at me, and I imagine like me just being transported through like the fucking a Windows 95 computer. Like
Uh,
it's
I agree. I would love this album if I had restless leg syndrome and I had amnesia as well. This would be my favorite album
yeah.
of all time.
Funny
If it had
enough,
this thing, but unfortunately, I do have memory, and it does annoy me. But
yeah.
Okay.
Well, for me, I actually do have restless leg syndrome, so thank you for being ableist.
do you actually?
No, well, I used to
I
for a
can
while,
believe
but like
it.
I can quell it. Like I can quell it and like leave it
If
alone.
you
But
can quell it, then you don't. You're stealing. You're stealing restless leg
well,
syndrome valor.
isn't it? No, isn't it just something that you can just have at like all times? That like it's just there. That like you can.
If it's just there, then I don't believe that.
I used to have it pretty bad when I was a kid. Like my mother would get like really mad and she like slap my leg. She'd be like, "Stop." I'd be like, "Okay."
Like I feel like to have like a restless leg syndrome, it has to be like neurotic or systematic or whatever. Like
I don't
I
think
want to
so though.
stand, I want to stand up sometimes as well. It's not unusual, you
Yeah.
know.
Okay. Well, okay. So then maybe I don't have. Maybe I shouldn't have self-diagnosed. But like
Yeah,
I
you
thought I did.
pathologized yourself far too much over a joke that I
I
made.
okay. Well, I thought because as a kid it was pretty bad. Like as a kid it was pretty bad. Nowadays I don't
Mhm.
have it nearly as much. But there will be some weeks where like I have like my leg just
Anyway,
shakes.
what were you talking about 10 minutes ago before this restless leg diatribe?
It was maybe like a minute. It was maybe like a minute. But anyways, going back to the
Diaphragm?
album.
20 minutes ago,
30 minutes ago. Okay.
40 minutes
Let's
ago.
just move into favorite tracks because because we need to get Yeagh off his
Yeah,
hate train.
sure. Yeah.
We need to get him off his hate
The
train.
Hate
and into
Train. I love this
Let's
album.
go.
I
his
love
love
Let's go.
his love train. Okay,
I
Vaughn,
fucking hate Sweet
give me
Train.
your top three. Give me your top three, Vaughn.
Top 3 changes a lot, but I'm gonna go with Velocity,
Okay.
Chocolate Matter,
Okay.
and To All the Dancers of the World, a round form of fantasy.
Okay, buddy. Okay. Pavlich, give me your top three.
I'll give you my top 3, but I just thought of this. Sweet Trip is this album, VDC, is kind of like the Wordle of albums.
The Wordle. How so?
Yeah.
Complete the analogy. Expand.
Because if you think about the colors on the Sweet Trip album cover, it's sort of like the colors that you'll see when you do the Wordle. It's sort of like got the yellow and the green and shit. Or am I just completely making that up?
You're making
And
it
it's
up completely.
No, you are, but
and it's got like building blocks, and it just sort of feels.
No.
Yeah,
No.
I feel you.
No.
I
No.
feel
You
you.
feel
I don't
me?
feel you. No, I don't feel
I
you.
feel you.
I think
but
it's the
also don't.
Wordle of album of
No.
album.
Give me your top three.
Mm.
Give me your top three, Pavlich.
Like listening to this album feels like my top 3.
Yeah, your top three. Look, just the 3 tracks that you feel. Okay.
Tekka, Disco, and Chocolate Matters.
Okay.
I knocked my phone over there.
Why do you say chocolate matters? By the way, it's just chocolate matter.
What?
It's chocolate matter,
no.
not chocolate matters.
I'm
He doesn't
I'm
give a
currently
shit, bro.
wrestling with the camera that I have set up.
Okay. Don't worry, we'll give you a moment. Vaughn, is there any last fleeting words you want to say about this album?
It's sexy.
It is sexy.
Yeah.
I love this album, and I'll show it to my kids.
Wait, is it
when they're
Chocolate
ready.
Matter?
It's chocolate matter,
I
not
think
chocolate
so.
matters.
What? But it can't be chocolate. Matter is just everything. There can't be exclusively like a chocolate
It's
kind of
chocolate
matter.
matter.
Well, exactly.
But like, whereas chocolate can matter, i.e., chocolate matters.
I have a theory about that song and the title, but it's actually kind of gross, so I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah, don't say it. Don't say it. I can already tell where you're going with it. You disgusting, vile man. Okay.
If you look into
I
the
love
lyrics
that.
on Disco,
I don't. You don't even need to tell me that theory, but I love that theory.
Okay, but moving along, it's actually what Yeagh had to pick, and Yeagh was going back and forth a lot on choosing the album until eventually he said, "We let the people vote." And the album that ended up winning was Bob Dylan's Highway 61 Revisited. And Yeagh, can I actually tell you something I'm very excited about?
What?
I get to go see Bob Dylan on Saturday. It's going to be hilarious. It's going to be a grand old time because he's not performing anything old. It's simply just rough and rowdy ways.
Yeah, Bob Dylan. It's worth talking about. Bob Dylan is like a live performer. Is like hilarious.
Yeah.
But like it's a very interesting sort of saga because like he's always touring. This is an 80-year-old fucking man. He should be in a retirement home, but he's still just sort of like traveling the country. It doesn't seem basically people never know if he's going to be good or not. Usually he's sort of disinterested, and obviously he's a fucking 80-year-old decrepit man, but he's like still getting out on stage performing these new songs that nobody knows or cares about.
Yeah.
And the performance quality is usually pretty poor, but he's still selling crowds out. I would go, even if I knew that Bob Dylan was only playing songs I didn't care about, and he was singing terribly, and the audio quality was terrible, and the band was terrible, and which seems to be the case with every fucking show that he does. I still would go because it's Bob Dylan. How can you not?
No,
you
literally,
know?
Exactly.
Just the idea of seeing Bob Dylan being there is fucking amazing to me. It would be worth the price.
And that's why I'm going. But I also
Yeah.
kind of just want to go and laugh because I listened to Rough and
Exactly.
Rowdy Ways, and it's a horrible album. Rough and Rowdy Ways is not good.
Rough and Rowdy Ways is a hilarious album to hear people pretend is good.
Yeah.
Like the sort of like music industry people who have always propped up Dylan and sort of recognize Dylan as like a generational talent or whatever. But like obviously this isn't a particularly good album. It's just some old man rambling. But people have to pretend that it's good because it's Bob Dylan, you know?
Yeah.
And they have to pretend that's good, not only because it's Bob Dylan, but because it's like a mildly passable album in comparison to like 20 consecutive stinkers that he has also released, you know. So
Yeah.
oh wow, it's a masterpiece in comparison to the absolute like shite that he released for the last
Like
30
what's
years, you
that
know.
what's that Silverman album he has or whatever it's called? It's the bootleg series Springtime in New York. That cover is so bad. That cover
Yeah.
is so hilarious.
I've listened to every Bob Dylan album. He has like 3 albums that is just like covers, and they're all like 2 hours long. And this is again a 75-year-old man doing covers of songs nobody cares about for 3 hours. Not 3 hours. 3 hours like times three. It's like 9 hours of the shit. What like? How do you, Bob Dylan, you have everything you could ever want or need. You don't want to talk to anybody. He's a recluse. He wants to hide away from people. But you still want to go into a recording studio and release the shit and like record and release the shit. It's almost it is admirable. I love it. It's
Yeah.
like he has a totally uh just you can't put your finger on him, you know. I don't know what to think of them. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now let's get into the album. And actually, surprisingly, I would like to open it up with just saying that like this was never an album I expected to like.
Yeah.
It doesn't really fit in my wheelhouse of the stuff I listen to often.
Mhm.
And I hate to say that because I always used to like it. I like to think of myself as someone who is eclectic and can listen to everything and just about enjoy everything. But as time has shown that like no, that's just not the case, and that's the case for a lot of people.
Yeah.
No one
I
is an
don't think
That's
eclectic.
anyone can.
No one is an
Yeah.
octopus of music, and they can just listen to just about
If you
anything.
say I listen to everything, you probably have listened to like nothing. Like in
Yeah,
the grand scheme of things, like
Damn.
you probably not really like. I'm just gonna like no disrespect, but like you gotta find your niche. Find
exactly.
your
And
niche,
I
bro.
found my niche,
Yeah.
and that's exactly the thing. This album does not fit within my niche, but yeah, there's
What's
something
your
so
niche?
I would say
Electronic?
electronic beep boops, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like shit that makes your brain scratch, you know, like
Vaughn, what's your
Electronic.
niche?
Adderall in the form of music
I've
basically.
not found my niche.
You've
He
not
hasn't
found your
found his
niche?
he
No,
hasn't
my
found his
Grow
niche
the
is
fuck
Kanye
up.
West.
his
Okay.
My
niche is
niche is
Kanye
Kanye
West.
Hell
West.
yeah. What's your favorite
Yes, my
Kanye
niche
West
is
album?
Kill Yourself. Let's talk about some Bob Dylan.
Okay, you're being mean. Okay. Yeah, I want to continue saying there's something so charming about this album that I absolutely love. I mean, like a Rolling Stone, the way it opens up, you know, it feels like a bar is opening up, an old-timey old western bar, and people are gathering around, they're cheering, I love the visuals that this album paints. And I think it was especially helpful that I saw the Martin Scorsese documentary about Bob Dylan that really helped me kind of understand the context of Highway 61 Revisited, because this was somehow an album that like major Bob Dylan fans despise. Like they did not want this album at all. And that's so crazy to think about, that at the time when this album came out, it was not liked. It was very much so the people were like, "What the fuck is this harmonica bullshit that he's on?" and all that kind of crazy stuff, because that's like probably some of the best parts of the album is the harmonica stuff. And there's just something so iconic about the cover as well. That's just like crazy. I don't know. This album is so charming to me. It feels like a wacky trip throughout America. Because Bob Dylan comes from like bumfuck nowhere. Like I'm pretty sure he used to talk about
Comes
like
from
I think.
Duluth, Minnesota. Say his name.
Yeah, you see, I didn't remember his name, so that's
Do
why I said
your research.
my bad. I don't
Do
remember the
your
3 hour
research.
long Martin Scorsese documentary. But yeah, no, I think this album is amazing, and actually, it's a great album to bike to. So I would suggest you go bike to this album because it's
100%.
fantastic.
That is
I
actually an
totally
interesting
agree.
thing to bring up because this is my most listened album of all time, and most of that is while traveling, like driving or walking or biking or whatever. For some reason, it has this just inscrutable ability to put you in give you a pep in your step. You know, I
Yeah,
love
no,
it.
I agree. Yeah, I definitely agree. But I, Pavlich, what is it about this album that you really like? Because you have always, I guess, put this album on a pedestal, and you tout on about this album a lot. I mean, that was kind of your ongoing, not so much bit or joke, just you very much love this album, and I want
Yeah.
you to color to paint me the picture about why you love this album.
I think the main reason is Bob Dylan himself. I feel like there's something unique about Bob Dylan that no one has been able to replicate, and it's very strange. He has no sort of pretensions, but you can't really figure out whether or not he's being funny, whether or not he's being serious at any point, whether or not what he is saying he believes makes sense, or sort of anything. He is. I just use this word, but he is totally like unscrutable. He really does feel like a guy that just doesn't care and will do whatever he wants, but like genuinely, not like, oh, I don't care, but like you care. Like he doesn't care. He'll do what he wants. He's just like unique like that. And I think his the harmonica is part of it, but like I think the best part of his music is his voice.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't just like sing these songs, like he is the song, you know.
Yeah.
And that is unique. Like he doesn't have like a tone where it's like, oh, he's sad, oh, he's happy or whatever. It's like he's Bob Dylan, you know. Whenever you listen to like a folk songwriter or whatever the fuck, it's like, oh, he's like singing in like a sad way, or like, oh, he's trying to hit that note or whatever. He doesn't give a fuck about the notes or like holding on to the melody or whatever. He just barrels straight through, and it gives it a sort of character, and a rustic character that is unlike anything in music, I feel like. And also, it has to be said, completely new to modern recorded music, because this is the early 1960s, you know. You can't point to anything like Bob Dylan beforehand. You just
Yeah.
can't. And you really can't since, because anyone who tries is riding on his coattails.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
also
Dude,
I also
you
think
go. You
that
go.
this sound has fallen to like the sands of time as well, because like ask anyone within our generation, me and Vaughn's generation, and people are
Yeah.
like, who? Like they will genuinely just say who? Like I don't know who that is, or like the only answer you'll
Okay.
get is like, oh, my grandpa likes that guy. Like that's
Yeah.
about it.
I like people know the name Bob Dylan,
No, they
but
really
like,
don't though. I was
okay,
just
I'm not.
ha-
It's
I think
he's not like a household name in the same way that like the
no.
Beatles are. He's up in that tier, but he's like maybe like a tier below in
okay,
terms of like the
he's
general
a tier
public,
below the Beatles, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah.
you
but
know. But one thing that is interesting to note in terms of like context is that at the time he wasn't as well known as the Beatles or anything like that. He was unique in the sense that he stood out over time, because of the promotion of his peers, people like covering his songs and shit. He wasn't
Yeah.
popular in
yeah,
terms of sales and shit. People weren't buying his albums because people at the time were used to listening to fucking Elvis Presley or the Beatles, or they were listening to fucking uh, smooth jazz and shit. You know, um, the thing is that he became big because his songs were great, and people loved covering his songs, and so many people covered his songs that you could just trace it back to him, and he sort of stood out. You know,
yeah,
he was obviously popular among like some like music critic circles or whatever, and among like a music elite, same sort of people who nowadays are into fucking velocity design comfort. But like back then, he wasn't. He was big, but like especially among like the folk community, but not like a massive popular music artist or whatever.
yeah,
But
Yeah.
he stood out over he stood the test of time 100%
yeah.
more
Yeah.
than anyone
One
else
thing you
in the era,
said
really.
that I never thought about before is that he doesn't really like show his emotion. Like he just
No,
is. Like
He
Bob
just
Dylan
is,
is
yeah.
his emotion.
and
Like it's so.
it seems like that's like not a big deal, but like think about it. Think of like a
Yeah,
songwriter that you've listened to, and when you
you're
listen to them
totally right.
sing, you can hear what they're trying to do. You can hear what they're trying to do. Bob Dylan doesn't have any of that. He's just like, I'm in the recording studio. I just wrote these words. I'm just gonna go
Yeah.
straight through. You're not gonna know what I'm talking about, and that sort of mysteriousness is so compelling to me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cuz
I've listened to this album like dozens of times. I
Yeah.
still don't know what he's talking about like at all.
No,
Like
I have
I'll
theories for
listen to a
certain
song.
songs, but like, yeah,
Right.
go on.
I'll listen to a song like as I'm listening I'll like okay, I can connect this to that, like that there's a certain connotation that comes with this phrase, but like it's like I don't know what he's trying to say, but it's so fucking cool. Like most of the time that could come off a little
100%.
corny. Like I'm not like I'm not into like fucking I don't like Aesop Rock or something, or like people like
Right.
that just say random shit. But like this is just like a different way, like because he says it so well.
Well, the thing is with like Aesop Rock, I like Aesop Rock. There's like a few songs that I
Yeah,
from him that I treasure or whatever. But like he is so overboard and bombastic that
yeah,
you can't really take it. Whereas Bob Dylan doesn't really do that. A lot of the shit I will fully say doesn't really make sense, and you should stop pretending that it does make sense. But
yeah,
like he isn't trying to go overboard. The thing that people underestimate is that Bob Dylan, I guess, I don't know if he understands because we can't understand Bob Dylan, but Bob Dylan is just effortlessly cool, and being able to listen to his music and listen to the lyrics and enjoy them is a product of you being able to just appreciate it for being fucking cool. It's cool.
exactly.
It's just cool to
It's
listen to.
cool as
It's cool
fuck.
to hear him just randomly like talk about like
Yeah.
a chicken in the sun or whatever,
Yes,
Yeah.
and
that's
like
the exact fucking lyric. I was listening to the song like an hour ago.
yeah,
Yeah,
and like
dude.
yeah, and make like a whole bunch of like crazy references or whatever, and like
Yeah,
individually in certain phrases like they can sort of make sense, but like it's chaotic, but not chaotic in an overbearing way, but chaotic in a
yes.
fucking cool way. Like it's cool.
Yeah, like
And it also, you go. I've been cutting you
yeah,
off.
no, like to bounce off the whole like lyrics, like literally the first two I guess sentences on like a Rolling Stone is once upon a time you just so fine threw the bums a dime in your prime. Like what the fuck does that mean? Like threw the bums a dime
Once
in your
upon a
prime?
time, you've been like it just makes no sense right off the
Well,
bat.
actually,
But there's also it does make sense. There's like things you can connect. There's things you can make sense of. It's
yeah.
just not conventional in any way.
I was gonna say Anthony probably chose the worst song to like describe what we're talking about because like Rolling Stone absolutely makes sense. It's one of the one songs that
I
like
don't know what threw the
has
bums a
like a
dime
throughway.
means.
What do you mean through the bums a dime? You
Like
gave
you
like a homeless person money, and it's about the downfall of like a. The song is about the
oh.
downfall of a person,
Yeah, I don't know.
Hmm.
It's just kind of
right?
hard to listen to like I when I listen to Bob Dylan, I for some reason like he be like you said, he is the song, so it's almost like I have a hard time digesting his lyrics in a sense because it's just like I'm just there listening to the fucking guitar in the background, just kind of having a nice old grand old time. Um, but then
But
there's
like
try.
the thing is with the lyrics, you don't really need to. I have to like stress like it's just cool. Like
Yeah,
the way that he just sort of effortlessly just bows through these songs, it's cool. He does it with like a swagger, you know.
yeah. Like
And like
Tombstone Blues, I
yeah,
kind of feel like that kind of swagger.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's not like he's monotone or whatever. You can't sort of place his intentions, but these songs do have variety, and you can sort of tell like, oh, it takes a lot to laugh, or a train to cry. It's like a love song. A ballad of a thin man is like a deposition, you know.
yeah,
Desolation Row is sort of like a long form of his earlier folk where he was just doing talking blues or whatever. Like these songs have a particular character that are all unique, but Bob Dylan's intentions, what he thinks, how he feels, you can never tell. And that's what's cool about it.
exactly. And I also like one thing that is very important to me about this album that I don't want to like understate, because obviously Bob Dylan himself steals the show, but the instrumentals are like so just brimming with life. There's so many
Yeah,
layers, like a Rolling Stone. The way it comes in, just the first fucking second of it is so like euphoric to me. Like it's so many layers and just so bright, and like you as throughout the song you can hear different instruments come up to the forefront with different parts, and like they're not exactly in time, like they're not played like
yeah.
fucking exact. They're just so like organic sounding, and just like almost every song has this quality of just like the layers of instrumentation that are really, I just love that energy.
Yeah, whenever I hear
And
I hear the instruments, it makes me think of like a marching band in like a court or whatever. It's got like,
yeah,
and it isn't perfectly like as you said in time or whatever,
yeah,
but it just has a sort of chaotic swagger to it. Especially like the best song in terms of an example is Queen Jane, approximately. Like
mhm.
the way that it just swings almost.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like there's like a clamor. Um, I love it.
yeah.
I
It's just
fucking
fire,
love it.
dude. Like I don't know, it's just fire, bro.
It's straight heat.
It's straight fire, bro.
Hell yeah.
Like that's all I got. Like
Yeah, no, like honestly, like Bob Dylan's just a
it's just
fire ass dude. Like that's just what he boils down
yeah, it's
to.
just a cool ass album, and just everything about it is great. There's no flaws in the album. It's just a perfect album.
Yeah,
Hmm.
It's just like a piece of shit album, you know.
Yeah.
yeah, it's a terrible album. I'm actually indifferent on it. I'm indifferent.
It's
What
mid.
What do you really think, Anthony? Why do you like it? You haven't spoken much. Come on.
I just like it because, like you said, Bob Dylan just kind of has this swagger to him. And just the idea of just all the guitar playing is just kind of like it's gonna sound weird because this is a genre of music, but like very jangly. But it's not jangle pop, obviously. It's not that wouldn't even be a thing for a
No,
while.
I get what you're
But like
saying. It's
it
like
just sounds like very like there's like that one character from fuck. There's this character, I don't know, whatever. I don't know what I'm trying to tout on about. But it just sounds so like disjointed. Like he sounds like he's like trying to sell me snake oil the entire time. Like that's how the
Yeah.
instrumentals sound. Like it
it sounds a little wonky. Like
yeah, it
it's
sounds
just
wonky.
like
Like it sounds like I'm like out in like the Midwest and I'm like trying to like and that I mean he's from the Midwest. Like oh wait no he's from Mississippi, right? The
Who?
fuck? Bob
I
Dylan.
don't
Well,
know.
Minnesota.
Kind of-
Oh okay, you see I was right. Yeah, he's from the Midwest. Like wait, where the fuck is Minnesota? Am I stupid?
It's to the left of Wisconsin.
Oh
It's
fuck,
it's
no,
on the
that's not.
border of Canada.
That's not.
He's from Duluth, and
That's
it's like on
kind
the
of.
very top of the
That's
Great
kind of
Lakes.
uh,
in the Midwest. I'm gonna count it as kind of in the Midwest.
It's the
Okay.
Midwest too, Kevin.
Yeah, but no, it just everything sounds so like it just
yeah.
sounds like he's just like this fucking like homeless dude to me, and I like that. It's just like he's
I
just this cool ass
I
homeless dude.
I that may be one interpretation, but I sort of disagree. I feel like he he's sort of like the opposite of a sort of suffering singer or whatever. He's sort of like an elite singer. He's like in a class of like his own, and he just is able to do his own thing.
Yeah,
He's the
Um,
coolest homeless dude.
yeah.
yeah, like
I don't know.
he
It's just like I feel like if I were to meet this dude in real life, like he would try and sell me snake oil. Like that's just how what it comes down to. I love the way he sounds. His voice is so, it's so, I don't know. It's just, I can't put a word on it. And I think that's exactly what makes him so special is that you can't put a kind of descriptor to Bob Dylan. The descriptor to Bob Dylan is Bob Dylan. He sounds like Bob
it's
Dylan.
very ambiguous. It sort of
Yeah.
swings from being able is like this cynical or is this like hilarious or
Yeah,
what is he
especially
getting that you don't
yeah,
know?
Yeah.
like with like a Rolling Stone, like I can't tell if dude is happy or if he's like trying
Yeah.
to, like I don't know. I just you have amazing points about it. It's just that the idea that like he is just him and that's all it is.
And
Like
I think that is like the most important key to understanding him as like a singer and a performer because like I'm serious, like find like a songwriter who sing a song.
yeah,
Uh who is as like ambiguous and sort of hard to pin down as Bob Dylan is. Like try because like you'll be
yeah,
able to figure them out. Oh, this guy's like fucking sad and shit or whatever.
yeah. He doesn't
Bob
care,
Dylan isn't.
and yeah, and that's apparent. Like if he cared, he would probably perform old tracks. He would probably still be performing stuff from like Highway 61.
Yeah, I
But he
was gonna
doesn't
say that.
fucking
Like
care. Like he
No, he
performs
doesn't.
just new shit.
like he's 80 years old doing this shit. Like that just adds
Yeah.
to the fucking
Like
aura
literally, it's so
of
weird. The concert is like at like 8. Like bro, like at 8 p.m. Most grandparents are going. Like there have been like 2 hours of sleep at that point. Like, bro's already up at 8 p.m. Like, honestly, I kind of hope I low key get to meet him. I don't think I will, but like That'd be cool if like I wait out a couple of hours or something and just take a picture with him. Cause that's also another reason why I want to go see him. Cause like any day now he could technically kick the bucket, and like I would just want to
Yeah.
say I at least got to see Bob Dylan in concert at least once.
I feel like he's probably the kind of guy who's like looking forward to it. He's like, yeah, why not? You know?
Yeah. Plus, I feel like him
Yeah.
seeing some kids in the crowd, some youngins in the crowd, would be interesting. So, because I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure, like, literally, I bought my tickets today, and it's on Saturday, and none of the seats have sold out. There's like not a single sold out section, which is fucking absurd. Also, because there's a section, the matinee section is like $400. I'm like, what the fuck? That is absurd. And it's like, bruh, like I'm just gonna go see Bob Dylan and have a nice time, and then that's it. I'm gonna laugh.
This is one of those things that I'm incredibly jealous of Americans for, is that they have like you can go see artists like perform concerts that aren't just like random like local artists, which are cool. I like seeing that, but you
Yeah.
never see like big name artists coming to New Zealand. It
Well,
sucks.
yeah, no. Well, also
With,
another
like
thing
people
is,
that I would like, people that artists that I love, they'll never fucking come to New Zealand. I saw
yeah,
Playboy Cardi once. And that was like 5 years ago.
that's
So
actually
like
kind
the
of
most
crazy though.
that was the most
5 years
random. He was like
ago.
at like a random festival. It was okay.
That's cool as fuck. That's still
It
dope.
wasn't cool as fuck. It sucked. It was fucking dog shit.
Oh, I forgot you don't like Cardi, do you?
I love Cardi,
No,
but
he
he's not a
does.
good live
No.
performer.
Oh, wait,
No,
It was
he-
fucking, and also I don't like the
That's
festival
true.
Does
atmosphere.
that-
I prefer more like intimate atmospheres,
Yeah.
which you don't get with like great artists coming to New Zealand.
Yeah, yeah, because you're right. Because like low-key, Cardi is not a very good performer.
No, Cardi. This is a different. I don't want to get too into this, but Cardi's so uniquely ass at performing that it's cool as fuck. Like it's. I saw a review on YouTube and it said it was an anti-concert, and that's like cool as fuck, bro. I don't care.
I kind of get what you mean in the sense that like
he
he's really
screams
good
every 2 minutes.
Yeah, he's really good.
Like, over the songs.
He's really good at pretending like he's giving a ton of effort without giving any effort, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
because he spends the whole time just fucking flailing about on stage, but not actually performing the song.
No, he
You know?
doesn't. He doesn't even know a single lyric to any of his songs. But it's I just fuck with it. It's
And
just
if
a cool.
if you fuck with that sort of vibe,
a
then
cool
it's cool.
energy.
But like, I don't
You're
like it in the
definitely
setting of
getting
like
ripped
a
off.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't like it in the
Definitely
setting of
like-
like a festival where I'm
No,
surrounded by
no,
like
but that's the
sweaty
thing.
people I don't
Yeah,
like.
I get
Cardi,
that.
know?
Cardi's
I get
not
that.
performing for you. You're performing for him. Like that's how it is. Like you
That's
go there to
facts.
meet with the people and just mosh to his
facts.
fucking songs. Like that's the thing. So
No,
I hope.
actually, the real performers are the
Yeah.
ones doing the lights, bro. If
Yeah.
you watch the light show and shit, like they're going crazy, bro.
Yeah.
That's too
So I-
that's too advanced for New
They're
Zealand.
Yeah.
doing crazy.
So I hope when
Yeah.
I go see Bob Dylan this Saturday, I can mosh to some Bob
Mosh.
Dylan stuff.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yes.
I'll go get some of the grandpas up and be like, let's fucking go,
Yeah.
let's do this. Because like I said, in all honesty, not a single section at the venue has sold out. And it's not a big venue. Like, it's not huge by all means. It's fucking small.
No, I'm not surprised because Bob Dylan doesn't stop touring, so he's probably already been to that venue like 10 times in the last month.
Yeah.
So it's like
Nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody.
No, and that's the crazy thing.
Yeah.
It's because the area that I live in, barely
Yeah.
any artists ever come here. They're either going to go to Atlanta or they're going to go to Orlando. And that's 5 hours away from me in any direction. So it's like, I'm surprised he's even coming here because what the fuck kind of business does he have here in like Savannah, Georgia? Like that's fucking hilarious to me. But
Docs.
and the thing is too, like a lot of my friends are ditching prom to go see Bob Dylan with me, so that's nice because I didn't plan on going to prom. So instead of going to prom, I'm going to go see Bob Dylan's old ass on stage. Fucking.
Do you live in Savannah?
I don't live in Savannah, but I live like 20 minutes out from Savannah.
Doxed.
Damn.
Yeah.
My best friend from high school was from Savannah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
This
no,
is a random tidbit.
that's a good tidbit.
Awesome.
I enjoy that. That's
Yeah.
also a good word, tidbit. That's just kind of a fun word.
I don't think it is it a word?
Well, I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you just said it. It's a word.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I subscribe to that philosophy of linguistics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why you gotta make things so nerdy? You subscribe to that philosophy of linguistics? What are you, fucking 40?
On that
I said I
note,
was 40.
leave a like.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
Leave a like, comment,
know,
subscribe on this video. Let me know.
notification bell.
Let me know if you fuck with people from New Zealand.
Question of the day. Do you like Bob Dylan?
Question of the day. Let us know down below if you like Bob Dylan.
Question of the day. Do you like Blade?
Question of
And
the day.
Ecco2k.
Do you like Sweet Trip?
Question of the day.
Do you like Pavlic? I hope you
Uh,
say yes.
Question of the day. What is the real question? That's the question.
Ooh, that's a good one. Pavlic, I want you to give me your top 3 tracks off the album, and then we can wrap up.
Queen Jane approximately, Desolation Row, and Just Like Tom Tom's Blues.
Okay.
Oh,
Vaughn,
hipster.
give me your top 3.
Ballad
Fuck
of a
off.
Thin Man is my
Loser.
favorite track.
Loser.
It's one of your favorite albums of all time. How are you gonna say this?
Like a Rolling Stone.
Okay.
And
Ace, that's a bass.
Hey,
bass.
fuck you.
Ballad of a Thin Man
Uh,
and Like Rolling Stone is the most basic lame
Yeah, I
picks
don't
to come
care.
out of the
I don't
gates
give a
with,
fuck.
bitch.
Yeah, third is kind of a toss-up. I don't really care. And I
Okay.
also I don't want to give you any.
Here's
material.
my top 3. Okay, are we ready?
Okay.
I'm going From a Buick 6. I'm going
Interesting.
Desolation Row, and I'm going
Oh.
Tombstone Blues. That's my top
Tombstone
3.
Blues is fucking amazing, by the way. But
I'm pretty
I
sure
guess we
you
can't
think
talk
every
about it
track is
anymore.
amazing.
It's
so
ass.
yeah,
But,
it's
like,
a terrible album.
It's still like an album where I think there are some tracks that are better than others. Like I could rank all the tracks. I'm not gonna like cop out and be like all the tracks are equally perfect. It's like fuck off. It's not true.
I probably wouldn't say that for any album.
No,
Honestly.
exactly.
Unless there's like, to say that about an album, you have to have listened to it only like once or twice.
Right.
I feel like.
I
and
would
like not very
yeah.
attentively.
I think it's important to make it
Even
clear that like
I've probably said it a million
You
times.
said it.
So
You've said it.
I'm making
A-
myself
a-
look like
That's why. Yeah,
a-
that's why I'm like you've
a
said it.
proper
I'm just being lazy.
a proper nerd tries to do whatever they can to avoid looking like a nerd. So a proper nerd would be the kind of person to be like all the tracks are equally perfect, so they can cop out
Mhm.
of like looking like a loser, ranking them, whatever. But I'll be that loser. Anyway,
Alright.
That's okay. You can be that loser.
My third favorite track is Tombstone Blues.
Yep, that's a good
that's a
favorite
great
track.
track.
For the
It's a
record.
great favorite track.
Pavlic, is there anything you would like to say before we wrap up the episode? Anything you would like to say about your life? Anything at all, really? This is your soapbox.
Hold on, let me check the weather. It's looking fucking great out there.
Yeah.
You know, so like if anyone's listening in New Zealand and this gets released like in an hour's time, so you can keep up with the weather, like I reckon, man, you should get out there, get down to Mission Bay.
Go on a bike ride.
Go on a bike
to
ride.
listen to
Don't-
Highway
don't-
61.
Don't go on a bike ride in Auckland, too hilly.
Too hilly.
We're on an active volcano field, so you'd be going up and down too much, and the cycling infrastructure just isn't there. So unless you're out on the bays, which is why I recommend today's a good day to get down to St. Heliers, Mission Bay. Yeah, get out there.
Okay. Pavlic, can we discuss something?
Yeah.
Do you think there will ever be a day when you change your rate your music scale?
No, I'm too invested at this point, and it also makes too much sense to me. And I'm right, and all the people who fucking complain are just
I don't
listen
think anyone complains about you anymore because you fell
No.
off, low key.
You influenced a whole generation. So
I did influence a whole
That's
generation.
true.
Yeah.
You're one of the music Twitter greats.
You are like probably the most influential on music Twitter. Like I'm not even gonna lie.
That's true. The likes of a G-Toss music and the likes of a Zangrel take up to your likings a lot.
I'm leaving music Twitter. I'm getting into Indian follower Twitter.
I actually joined the party that you sent. He sent like this party, and it's just a bunch of like
A
Indian
space,
people
yeah.
singing. Yeah, it's just it's a Twitter space.
Yes, that was
Indian people
amazing. Because
singing.
like it's like this has to be some kind of like hostage situation. Like these like men have got like random Indian women like locked up in
singing-
this Twitter
yeah.
space singing.
Yeah, and then afterwards, everyone will
Not
be
like
like,
singing,
"That was really
like
good." They'll be
singing
like,
their
"Oh, yeah."
hearts out. It's like
Yeah,
they have a gun to their head. It's like
yeah, and
bizarre.
yeah, and then after everyone finish a song, they'll be like, "That was really good job," and then they'll be like,
Yes.
"All right, let's move on," and then they'll like the next lady will go, and it's like just one
It sounds
after another.
fascinating.
It sounds like a cult, honestly, and we could be
Yeah.
so fucking uneducated right now, and they're probably like doing something, but like. It was weird. Like in your profile picture right now, your Twitter
Yeah.
layout game is on the loose. Like you're going
A
crazy.
lot of these accounts are sort of like budgets. P- the people who are like, oh, make money quick or whatever. They're sort of like the Indian version of that, except get followers quick.
Yeah.
And it's just like they'll spend like 5 hours in a Twitter space talking to each other about how to get followers, and it's just like the like K-pop version of getting followers, which is just following and following back. Like that's the entire strategy. It's like, and they'll sit in these spaces all day, every day, discussing these things.
Wait,
It's
wait, Polish,
fascinating.
you're not Prabhat Singh, right?
I'm not Prabhat Singh.
Yeah. That's not
I
you,
feel
is it?
sort of I'm linked to him, sort of like
Emotionally, spiritually?
yeah, like soul in my soul. You know,
Yeah.
I
Cause
feel
like yeah, cause you
I
added him
feel a
to the group
kinship with
chat.
him.
Yeah, you
Yeah, I
added him to
did.
the group chat one day.
Yeah, and
It's
he
very
spoke,
beautiful.
and he was like, think." I don't want to do a racist voice, but he was like, "Thank you guys," and you know, it's like, "Thank you for
Thank you for not doing a racist voice.
Yeah, thank you
no,
for
I
that.
didn't want. No,
Typical
Yeah,
New Zealand feelings, you know.
I think we should maybe wrap up.
Yeah, I think it's time to wrap up. We want to give a big shout out.
you could probably cut the entire section about talking about the Indian follow for follow.
No, that's so fire. No, I'm sorry, that's so fire. But yeah, we want to give a big shout out to Todd
Yeah.
Edwards. Actually, you're a big fan. You're a big fan of the Todd.
Pavlich put me on to Todd Edwards.
Don't
so I'm
talk
forever
about
Pavlich
it.
grateful.
put me on. Pavlich put me on as well.
I don't care about like, oh, I'm influential or whatever, but people who Todd Edwards is only famous because of me. No one knew who he was before me. He didn't have a career, he was homeless, but then I came along and I gave him a high rating on rateyourmusic.com. And all
That
of a
is
sudden
facts.
he's living in a mansion in fucking Sheffield or whatever.
He lives in
And look at
LA.
me. I'm fucking living in rags. So Todd Edwards, if you're listening to this, DM me. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah, okay.
we give a shout out to Todd Edwards, and we'd like to thank you, Yeagh, for putting us on. Cause low
Yeah.
key, we wouldn't have our Lord and Savior without you.
Todd Edwards,
so.
if you're listening, all three of us would get down and dirty with you. Because
Okay,
all of you
well,
listen.
I'm still 17, but in a couple months, I will
Yeah,
agree
yeah.
with that sentiment. So yeah, but no, big shout out to Todd
You can get-
Edwards.
yeah.
Big shout out to Pavlich, or as he's currently known, Yeagh. Go follow his Twitter,
Yeah.
only foreskin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should really
Yeagh.
consider changing that.
What?
Only foreskin, really?
It's funny. You're gonna be talking about. You're gonna be talking about. It's gonna be talk. You're gonna be talking about East next week, aren't you? Probably.
No,
Perhaps,
it depends on how the
perhaps.
poll goes.
You're gonna be talking
Perhaps.
about East next week.
We're gonna be talking about East.
And-
Probably.
That song is an inspiration for me. I
Only
mean, just
foreskin.
imagine it only having a foreskin. That's like.
Wait, is that
image
where
of
you got it?
very
Is that where you
funny.
got the name from?
Yeah, only
Yeah,
skin.
only skin.
Yeah, only skin. Okay.
foreskin.
Okay, yeah. That's what I was gonna say. I was like, wait a minute, that does sound familiar.
Imagine it. No balls, no shaft, but you do have this foreskin.
Well, what if your entire body, like your entire skin was foreskin? Like regular skin was different from foreskin. Because they're different.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be interesting?
No.
I disagree. It would be interesting.
He's
I
entertaining
don't
the
think
idea in
so.
his head. He's entertaining the idea.
It's
I'm
kinda
just trying to
gross.
wrap my head around. It is gross, but you know, Vaughn.
Okay, maybe it'd be a little.
The world
interesting. I'm just being- I'm being a
is
contrarian.
unfair. The world is cruel. The world is, in a way, many times over gross. But it's confronting these questions that really gets your noggin a jogging. And
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you very much.
But okay, we just want to say we love y'all, and we'll see you next week. All right.
You should cut a lot of that out.
I've been Anthony Spiked. We're not cutting any
He's
of this, by the way.
He's not cutting any of that.
We're not cutting any of this. And this has been Vaughn. Vaughn.
It's been Vaughn.
And we have
It's been
Pavlich. Love this guy. What a guy. Interesting,
supposed
man.
to say this has been Yeagh or
No.
Pavlic.
Can we get an MC Pavlic for the one time?
No.
MC
Oh my
Pavlic
God.
back on the beat.
This album's this fucking episode.
Okay, we will see y'all
This
later.
episode's like an hour and a half.
Okay,
dude.
we'll see y'all later. Peace out. Much love.
I'm
Goodbye.
suffering.
Goodbye.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Okay.